Hey, what's up, guys? Got another tutorial for you here. This is just a brief tutorial. I know a lot of you guys do mobile gigs on the side for extra cash. Maybe some of you guys are club guys by nature and just do mobile on the side, or maybe you do mobile work almost completely. Um, right now, I do a little bit of both, but I just wanted to give you guys some brief tips, things to keep in mind when you're doing mobile gigs at venues that a lot of guys don't really think about. If you're not a fully fledged business, which a lot of you guys aren't, you may be an independent contractor, you may be some kind of a subcontractor. A lot of guys end up working for DJ companies and then they get like 1099s at the end of the year for tax purposes. I get that would make you a subcontractor. A couple things you may want to keep in mind, especially um, if the company you're working for does not provide it for you. Things you definitely want to keep in mind for mobile gigs. If you're doing a wedding in a venue, like in a hall, you may want to consider getting liability damage for yourself. Liability damage will protect you from getting sued should, say, I don't know, your speaker fall over on somebody. You got a power cord that's not taped down and somebody trips on it. Keep in mind, guys, that the halls do not cover for this. If somebody trips and falls, some old lady or something at a wedding and hurts herself bad on your equipment, if you don't have liability damage, the hall will not cover that and you could be responsible. So you may want to consider buying DJ liability insurance. It's fairly inexpensive, especially if you do quite a few mobile gigs week to week. It's definitely something to look into. There's a number of websites. You could just Google it, do some research. There's a number of companies that offer it. Another thing you may want to take into account, and this is not only if you're doing mobile gigs like weddings, parties, stuff like that, but if you're doing clubs, is to try to find some sort of equipment damage insurance. Now, these are very hard to get. You could try to get it through your regular insurance company, but a lot of times in those instances, the cons outweigh the pros. There are a handful of DJ insurance companies on the web that will cover DJ equipment damages up to a certain dollar value. Also, it has to be under certain circumstances. So you definitely want to read the fine print for that. But insurance, I think, is a very often overlooked thing for DJs that you guys may want to really consider looking into. Because, you know, you never know when your equipment's going to get jacked. You never know when some little kid's going to knock over your speaker, you know, which weighs like 60 pounds. On some old lady or something at a wedding. You just never know. So you guys may want to seriously consider looking into this for your gigs. It's a pretty good idea, especially if you do a lot week to week. Now, if you eventually open up your own business, like an LLC or something like that, I mean, it's pretty much a necessity. You've got to have that. But just a heads up, you might want to check that out. You definitely don't want to be caught unprotected in that case. Okay, thanks.